We on now? Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing well on this Saturday morning. We want to get started and go through our agenda of what's going on here in Clayton County and District 4 specifically. So first thing we want to talk about is just the progressions of what's been going on here. As you have known, Clayton County has been in the news lately for the election. Um, and we had a very, very good turnout. We didn't have a great turnout, but we had a very good turnout. We turned out roughly 53% of all eligible voters to the polls, and we were the county that put the Democrats over the top in turning this county, the state blue. So that was a great thing. So we need to really keep up the work for the next election and keep it moving forward. As far as our rec centers, everything's are moving forward. We've got our sidewalks and the planning stages of our sidewalks. We're looking at really extending these sidewalks in Riverdale. We have they installed the sidewalk on South Lake Parkway and Battle Creek, which is a 10-foot wide sidewalk, which is what I've been shooting for and really pressing folks to go after. I think this is going to increase safety and to begin to especially increase our pedestrian safety. We did have a fatality, I believe it was last week on Terra Boulevard, a pedestrian fatality, and we never want to hear those things. So we as a county are going to try to do everything we can to ensure that our citizens here are as safe as possible. We have a great law enforcement here. We have great fire and EMS. And so we're going to utilize everyone to come up with different ways and different methods to have that happen. A couple of things. We do have the recycling center is now open for those that are into recycling and want to take their items down there. That's at 1430 Highway 138. And they're open from Monday through Saturday from 9 to 5. So we want to basically make sure we utilize that avenue and keeping our county clean. Our tax commissioner's office is still having its senior Wednesdays. All the seniors that need tags can go into there and have their needs serviced immediately from 8 to 10 a.m. And that's only at the main tag office on McDonough and the satellite office on South Lake Parkway over by, somebody help me, what's over there? The Burlington Coat Factory. So we'll make sure that happens as well. What else do we have? Our code enforcement, we just want to make sure everyone knows, is now open on weekends, but there is no, they are, and I guess one of you law enforcement can help me out here. They're just perusing the area, looking for violations. There is no call-in numbers to report anything because there are no secretaries that will be handling the calls or taking calls. So they're just going to be moving around the county. For that, what else we have? As far as any upcoming events, one of the things I want to, and I'm going to say this again later on, DA Mosley has partnered with Hearts of Nourish Hope and the National Association of Black Law Enforcement, Noble, and they're having a turkey giveaway today down at the Clayton County Courthouse. I believe it's from 12 to 2 or 12 to 3, I'm sorry. And that's going on today. So if you know those folks in need, we've got the holiday season fastly approaching, and we want to make sure our citizens of need are taken care of in this time. So with that, we'll move on. Who do we have next coming up? Oh, well, and I'm going to do the election. Representative Bernot had a death in the family, and so she cannot be here on this call today. So we want to, I'm looking for my other sheet here. We want to go through this election again. We want to let folks know, election is over. We do have a runoff coming up to figure out what the balance of power is going to be federally. Those that are not registered to vote can register up until December 7th. So we want to make sure that you get registered to vote or get those folks registered to vote. Early voting is going to start on December 14th, and that will be at our recreation centers as well. So if you want to begin, but you can begin now requesting early ballots and mail-in ballots. So we want to get everybody involved in that. That will be posted on the site, so everyone will know that. That election officially takes place on January 3rd. So we want to get everybody in order to where they can cast their ballot legally in the state of Georgia, since there's two types of ballot that you can submit. I didn't know that, but we want Clayton County to be well represented in their legal ballot counting. So that's where we are. And also too, if you start to begin to see folks next week on the streets from our elections office, reach out and thank them. They have done one tremendous job. They are actually in the office now, hand counting ballots, because it has to be in by this Wednesday at midnight. So if you see those, Shauna Dozier and her team have done a magnificent job in moving this county forward and making sure our elections are going on without fault. So we want to thank them tremendously. A lot of times we want to jump on folks when they're doing something right, but when they do a good job, we don't recognize it. And we want to recognize Shauna and her team. So we'll have that. Let's go on with Parks and Rec. Troy, what you got?
Thank you, Commissioner. Hope everybody is doing well. Wanted to go over a few things, facility-wise that Parks and Recreation has in the works. The newest recreation center, the District 4 Recreation Center, it is called the Lake Spivey Recreation Center, will be open to the public. We're hoping, beginning of December, open to the public. We'll get moved in there with the recreation staff around the end of November. Open to the public in mid-December. A new, very, very good facility, has an indoor pool, several fitness rooms, several meetings rooms for you to use if you need. And let's see, the water park, what you previously knew as the beach is no longer, and the water park will be open in June of 2021. The Nassau building is being just demolished, or actually there is no more Nassau building. It has already been demolished. So we'll be looking for, a totally new water park for you to use in June of 2021. We have major renovations going on at the VIP complex and amphitheater. That is scheduled to be June of 2021. So summer of 2021, you will see a totally new park here at Clayton County International Park. So the dog parks, as you know, we opened up the dog park at International Park. We also have one at Gerald Matthews Complex down in Hampton, and that's been a big success. So we have walking trails out at the International Park and down at River's Edge, over at Jester's Creek, and we invite you out to visit facilities, claytonparks.com. If you are a senior and would like information about the senior centers, as Commissioner Davis said, there are voting that will be taking place at some of our facilities. So, you can go to claytonseniors.com, and they will be, they have all of that information to you, for you to get the information before you come to the senior center, so you don't waste a trip. And that is about it. If you go to claytonparks.com and claytonseniors.com, that'll give you all of the information that you would need for activities.
Great, great. Anyone have anything for Troy? Okay. The next one was supposed to be our Clayton County Board of Education update. They are on a retreat today, and they won't be done until noon. So we're going to skip over that, and I definitely will have them up early on the meeting agenda for next meeting in December. We got our crime stats and what's going on in the community. Captain Turnipseed, do you want to start first, and followed by Captain Romero?
Yes, good morning, everyone. So our crime stats for the county, we're actually doing outstanding. For our stats from August 2019 compared to August of 2020, our federal stats have come in. And our Part 1 crimes are actually down 22.8%. Crimes against property are down 27.46%. Homicide is down 8%. Robbery is down 37%. I'm sorry, rape is down 37%. Robbery is down 25%. Aggravated assault is up, and I'll explain that a little bit. Towards the end of this, it's actually up 31%. Burglaries are down 59%. Theft is down 16%. Vehicle theft is actually down 24%. And actually, that's for the county as a whole. As far as Sector 4 itself goes, this year versus last year, burglaries are down 34%. Theft is down 30%. And everything. So one of the things that I mentioned was aggravated assault. One of the things that I'm going to correlate the aggravated assault rate being up, unfortunately, is going to be, I'm going to assume is going to be due to the COVID and everyone being basically kept up at the house, everyone in the house by them together and everything, and not having the ability to get out. So we've seen a definite increase in our domestic violence situations and things like that. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up is in our domestic violence, if you or you have someone else that you may think that's involved in or a victim of domestic violence, please make sure that you're reaching out or let them know to reach out to the police department so we can address the situation. I would much rather respond to a situation and be able to address things and talk things out and everything, as opposed to a situation where we're actually having to make an arrest, especially during holiday season and things like that, and separate families and everything like that. And speaking of holiday seasons, we have, obviously Thanksgiving's right around the corner and Christmas time. So with that being said, everyone out doing their shopping and things of that nature, and even burglaries will increase in that time frame and entering autos. One of the things I want everyone to be aware of is try your best not to make yourself be a victim or make yourself an easy target. So you want to do things like make sure that you don't have items sitting in plain view in your car. Make sure that your car is locked. If you go out and do your shopping, I know you're trying to hide things from the kids and the family and things like that. Even if you got to coordinate with another family member and put items at their house and things of that nature, you definitely don't want to leave the things in your car or in your trunk so people can actually see you to see what you have and break into your vehicle because they see something in plain view. And also, one of the things that I see is when you set your Christmas tree up in the front window for everybody to see, leave the window blinds open and things of that nature. Obviously, someone can look in and see that you have Christmas presents and everything up underneath the tree. So don't make yourself be a victim like that or easy target where someone wants to have that desire to break in and actually take what you've already worked your hard-earned money for. And that's pretty much all that I've got for Sector 4. Is there any questions for that?
I have a question, Freddie Edenfield. Could you address the gang situation in Clayton County?
What are you wanting to know about the gang situation?
How many? What are they doing? And what are you guys as law enforcement doing to be proactive to mitigate the gang presence in Clayton County?
All right. Now, I cannot honestly answer the question as far as how many gangs are in the unit or in the county, but I can get that information. I will actually put my email address up in the comment section and everything. If you would just shoot me an email and I can actually get you that information. We do have a very active gang unit in the county, and also during the holiday season, we normally have a task force that we actually get out, and it's basically an armed robbery and gang response unit that deals with any type of priority one type calls that would involve like thefts or robbery and things of that nature. So it's a very proactive unit that is solely out there to deter the crime and catch the parties in the act of trying to commit crimes against citizens.
Okay, thanks so much. I'll shoot you an email to get additional details. Again, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Captain Romero.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good morning, Commissioner. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it. As you all may not know, although district lines are very clean, our sector lines, they mirror them very closely. However, there's a small portion of Commissioner Davis's district that is in my sector, and it's around the Roundtree 138 area down there on the south end. So the majority of my sector is actually more in line with Commissioner Hambrick, but criminals don't know district lines and they don't know sector lines. So when we're talking about crime, they go all over the county. And myself and Captain Turnipseed and the other sector captains and even the other units within our department actually communicate on a sometimes daily, every other day, but absolutely weekly basis, so that we make sure that we stay on top of the crime trends that are happening in your community. As it pertains to my area of the Commissioner Davis's district, the main thing that we're dealing with over there is speeding. We've got loud music and we've got speeding that happens periodically. And we have tried to combat that through aggressive traffic enforcement and safety road checks and things of that nature. But I do want to kind of pick up a little bit where Captain Turnipseed touched on when it comes to the holiday season. And every sector kind of has some organic things that may be happening within it. So since we're experiencing something over here on ours, I want to absolutely share that with you guys so you can look out for it where you're at. And that is, we all know, due to COVID and the ease of the internet, we were having a lot of porch pirates, so to speak, in the past commit acts of theft. So just be conscious and be neighborly. If you see your neighbor out there with a package that is on a front porch, especially if it's got something like 87-inch Samsung TV, get to know them, call them, and let them know that it's been delivered. Because I know in the past we've had those issues, especially around the holiday time. And the unfortunate part about it is usually some recipient or potential recipient that was looking forward to getting that TV as a gift or whatever the item is, they're disappointed during the holidays. So we want to make sure that we stay on top of that. So our guys are going out and in between the times that they are in their action plan area or responding to 911 calls, they are actually following around UPS and FedEx trucks and watching the Postal Service. And if they see packages that are delivered, we've encouraged them to go out and knock on doors just to wake neighbors up to come and get their packages if they happen to be home. Second thing, we know it's about to be cold. And usually with the cold of winter, we like to warm our vehicles up in the morning and before we go to work. So please, for the stakeholders in the community, spread the word to not leave your car unattended when you crank it up. We see a spike in vehicle thefts during this time, just because people want to get in a warm car and they've just ran in for a quick second because they forgot their coffee or something, and then their car is gone. You guys know, if you live in the county and you experience a lot of burglaries and thefts, that's going to correlate to your homeowner's insurance and things like that go up. And we just want to make as tough as possible for criminals to victimize our citizens. So let's just stay vigilant on that. We are monitoring crime trends every week. We are absolutely proactive. So we are going to do our very best to keep you guys safe during this holiday season. So I just wanted to thank you for welcoming me to your meeting, and I appreciate everything that you do.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And just to let everyone know, when we have something that goes on anywhere in the county or in the community, these are the two individuals I reach out to, Captain Turnipseed and Captain Romero, for they know pretty much what's going on and what's taking place. Now we do have our chief here, which I don't want to deny him his time. And so if you want to speak on anything they've said or go a little further, you can, Chief Roberts.
I will be brief because they did a great job covering everything. I do see in the chat, Ms. Sharon White asks, can you address the issue of speeding and racing on Terra Boulevard and off of 138 by young drivers in souped up cars? Ms. Sharon, that's an ongoing issue in the metropolitan area. But if you pay attention to the news, I think Clayton County was at the forefront of deterring such actions. And if you were aware, just over this past week, what we've been doing is combined traffic operations with the Georgia State Patrol, the Clayton County Sheriff's Office, and we use our traffic unit to supplement their efforts. And we've been targeting certain areas where we've had these types of racing issues. And early on in the year, we conducted an operation that netted several arrests and impounds, and it served as a deterrence. We know that they are very active in other areas of the metropolitan area, and they usually stop at the county line when they get to Clayton County because of our efforts prior. And if you think I'm joking, you look at Captain Romero, he was the field commander of that operation, and we will periodically continue to conduct those operations. So all we need the community to do is make us aware that they're active again, and we will re-engage. But we've been continuing those combined traffic suppression efforts periodically every other month or so. We just did one last week. That also helps us with the gang problem that the Mr. Edenfield, I believe, asked about earlier. And what you'll see from this agency is we become stronger through our partnerships with our peers within the county and our external partners, federal agencies, things of that nature. We partner with FBI Safe Streets to suppress gang crime in the county too. So we have several avenues where we're keeping the community safe. I just want to say these two leaders, the captains that you've spoken with, have done a great job briefing you. Therefore, I don't have anything else to say, but let's keep tracking. Let's be safe. We partner with the Ring camera system. We get a lot of notifications about packages being stolen off of porches and property, and we get great video. What I don't want citizens to do is look at that video at 1 o'clock in the morning and then wait till 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning to call the police. Because if you call us time you see that video, we can get units in the area, because what we see happening is these young suspects are moving through the neighborhoods, checking vehicles, removing packages out of doorways and off of porches. So if you call us as soon as you see this violation, you might help yourself and your neighbor not be the victim of any thefts. With that, let's be safe. Have a happy holiday. I'm muting my mic, Commissioner. I'm done.
Well, thank you, Chief. When they're unmuted for one moment, just kind of give us a general overview of how that whole ring process works.
Well, we partnered with Ring that allows the police department to actually have or receive video evidence submitted from citizens to the police department and their surrounding neighbors if they are Ring customers, and they can pretty much post what they're seeing on their camera and what's being recorded, thus giving the police department timely opportunity to attack the problem and capture that evidence for further prosecution in the future.
Okay, great. That's what we need to know. So we've got to do our part when we ask you to do your part. So thank you for all you do. I misspoke earlier. I said the election was January 3rd. I just want to correct that and make sure everybody knows it's January the 5th. So we still want to get out there. Also, too, with the whole, we want to also to inform everyone that Judge Melton has kept our courts closed through, I believe it's December 9th now. But just because they're closed does not mean they're not servicing folks. So they have boxes where you can drop information off if you need to. If there's a domestic violence issue, we definitely want you getting down to the courts and begin to putting your information, putting your request in there. We are trying to make sure we keep this county safe. And so it's a lot of the court closures are for a lot of your misdemeanor type activities. So we are still monitoring, keeping everything clean and neat here in Clayton County as far as the court systems go. With that, also, we know we have this COVID epidemic going on, and we're hoping it's going to be over soon. But we have also an eviction moratorium that's going on, and there's a Zoom meeting that's going to be happening on Thursday, November the 19th from 10 a.m. to 12. I'm going to put that link out there and type it up here in a moment, but that is through Linda Boswell, who's the HUD program manager over community development, and her number is 770-477-4523. That's 770-477-4523. I'll put that link up, but that's something we definitely want to all look at and be cognizant of, just in case our neighbors and some of our family members are going through a financial stress right now. So we have that going on. What are we up next? Oh, also too, and Captain Turnipseed, you can remark on this. We had some trucks issues down on Noah's Ark where they were going to the dump, but they were going the wrong way to the dump on our private streets. Can you address that? What was going on and what we did to handle that issue?
Yes, sir. Basically, we had complaint that there were dump trucks going down Thornton Boulevard, and a very high number of dump trucks. So I went out, and within about 5 minutes, there was about 13 dump trucks that went through the area. So what we did is I actually stopped one of the dump trucks, spoke with them, found out that actually the issue happened to be the dog park at the beach. With the dirt being hauled and actually taken to the landfill, utilizing that as a cut through. So it was addressed. We spoke with Troy and the contractor over the area and addressed the correct route of travel for his drivers to be able to utilize and try and deter some of that traffic. Now there is still a work crew on the power lines that border Noah's Ark and Thornton, and they have to utilize the entrance. They have an entrance on both roadways. So they do have they're contracting out for Georgia Power. So there are still some commercial vehicles with that, but it's due to an active work site that are on those roadways there.
Great. And thank you for that work. And that came across very quickly and from a diligent effort from you. So I thank you for that. But we also have a question or a comment from Ms. White about the grocery store near the CVS pharmacy.
Is that going to be Lytle?
I'm sorry. Yes, I believe that is. Well, that's City of Jonesboro, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Explain our jurisdictions and how we cross and do work with these different municipalities.
Yes, sir. So basically that's going to be on the City of Jonesboro. And I can actually reach out to them for some assistance in referencing to that. Unfortunately, it's private property as far as the driveway goes there itself. So for them to be utilizing the CVS to get to the Lytle or to get around the traffic and everything, there's not too much that we can do unless they're driving in a reckless manner, because like I said, that is private property. But like I said, I can reach out to the City of Jonesboro for assistance and just doubling the effort and checking the area and seeing if there's any violations there.
Great. Thank you. Not on the agenda, but Valerie, are you on the line? I'm not sure if Valerie is here.
Actually, I am. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you touch on some of the SPLOST and what we're doing with your department?
Yes, sorry for the delay. I want to encourage everyone to share our link, claytonsplost.com. That's where all of the projects that are active are listed, and those projects to come are listed at claytonsplost.com. Share it with your family, share it with your friends, and that's for every district. Any projects that are happening as a result of the special purpose local option sales tax that our citizens voted for. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you. And now what I'd like to do is, well, you know what? I'm gonna move something around. Erica, I want to introduce Erica Rocker Wills. She is in charge of our economic development here in Clayton County. And she's been tasked with a very great task in bringing in new businesses and things of that nature. So Erica, I want to say welcome. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and let them know what you do and what you're trying to do and how you're moving forward.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good morning, District 4, and thank you, Commissioner Davis, for this opportunity. I am Erica Rocker Wills, and I am the new Economic Development Officer for Clayton County. What that simply means is I head up our Economic Development Department, which generally, as a categorical definition, is business recruitment, retention efforts to our existing industry, and then attraction of new industry. Also involved in that is partner engagement, being a source for resources for those of you out there who have everything from a home-based business to the small business community here to our local large partners like our universities and utilities. My office is right now located over at 1588 Westwood Way, in the little building right across from the entrance to Clayton State. We are back at work and in the office every day. So if you have a question or if you want to meet, we have a mandatory mask mandate. It is consistent with all the county, but please reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you. It's a great time to be in economic development, not just from the pandemic, but from how Clayton County is situated in general, being our lead industry center around the logistics and transportation, distribution type companies. Those are areas of industry that really boomed and took off during this pandemic. So it has kept my office busy, and it certainly kept those in the industry busy. I have some great stats and analytics that my partners prepare and give to me. So those things are exciting. They're all presented on our Invest Clayton website, which is investclayton.com. But there will be more to come that I plan to work with Valerie and the communications team, our studio, to put out this information that I know our citizens, not only in District 4, but all around the county, want to know about: coming projects, job opportunities, the types of industry that you want to see here that we are maybe deficient in. We hear you, we are aware of that, but we want a more concise way of gathering that information. So I plan to get out some surveys by district and certainly tour districts with the 4 commissioners to hear what's important and what's critical. I would like to say on a note, we have some great new job announcements. We just completed a small business grant program. I hope many of you out there heard about it. We certainly tried to get the word out, but the commissioners allocated $1 million for small business relief grants. And the grants were in staggered forms of, if you had 1 to 10 employees, you get $5,000, 11 to 50, $7,500, and then 51 to 100 employees would be eligible to get $10,000. Portal closed at midnight last night, and we certainly will start reviewing all those applications all of next week and then start awarding the week after Thanksgiving. So with that, Clorox is expanding. Chime Solutions has 700 jobs. We're getting a new Lowe's scratch and dent 60,000 square foot store coming in on Mount Zion Boulevard. So that'll be good on the retail side. Really, there's some good opportunities there. And we're excited to see what is on the horizon for Clayton County, not only for retail and entertainment. And I think you'll be surprised. There are some things that are in the ground that we are working on. And in much of economic development, there are NDAs where we can't disclose projects that are forthcoming until they are sealed. But we're happy with our latest announcements of the Clorox expansion, Lowe's coming, a company called New Rest that's going to stock all the airplanes with your food and beverage supplies, and a company called Broad Range, which was a 20-year company in Atlanta who chose to come to Clayton County do that Amazon shipping for all those things you order. But great things are moved and made here. I'm excited about our new tagline about the world lands here and opportunity takes off. But I want you to know this is a great county. It is my quest to equip all of our citizens with the right elevator speech to promote it to its fullest. And I hear these great stories every day from our businesses, but if I'm the only one who knows it, it helps me to get that word out in everybody's mouth so they can talk about the great things that are made here, such as the casings for the missiles carried by our M16 fighter jets, football stadiums for LSU and college stadiums around the country are made here by Tyndall Precast. Food you eat, certain condiments. The International Paper Company makes all those boxes you order your e-commerce in. Clorox. So the list goes on, but I'm a proud Clayton representative. I appreciate being on the call today. I'll put my information in the chat where you can reach me by email or phone. But I'm Erica Rocker Wills, and I'm happy to serve the Board of Commissioners in this role. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. Erica, that Clorox project, can we
Yes, sir.
speak on that yet? About the number of
Yes.
jobs and the salary ranges, just quickly?
Yes, absolutely.
That is going to be of great benefit to this county.
It is. Through the Development Authority about 10 years ago, they issued bonds for Clorox to expand. It was about a $45 million bond, and they are in the 5th year of paying that off. And here comes the pandemic. Thank goodness that expansion was issued those years ago, because all of the Clorox wipes and 409 products are made at that plant right there in Forest Park. With the expansion, Project Blue Sky, Clorox came back to us early in April and said, look, we need to expand all the more. And they had an opportunity to expand at several of their facilities around the country. They chose the Clayton site, which is great for us in terms of jobs. There will be about 250 more jobs added. Salaries will range anywhere from $18 to $38 an hour, and some opportunity for executive positions. So we're very excited about that. And we worked with our state project manager, Emily Poole, who's over Clayton County, to bring that project home to us. It was not a given just because they had the office here. Clorox, I will say this, those of you out there that are affiliated with our other auxiliaries around the county, like the school board, or maybe you're affiliated with a nonprofit, they want to get more engaged. They aren't simply asked, according to them, when I ask them, what do you do in terms of your corporate gift back? So I'm going to be pushing for a page so that some of this is required, that you choose a local nonprofit or you choose several events. You know, if there's a 5K run in the county, you know, an avenue to get that to me so it can go to the businesses who want to give back from a corporate level, because they end up donating to like Trees Atlanta or some of the other just broad range habitat, but they want to do locally, and they want to know when there's an opportunity. And so through my office, I want to provide that for those in the Clayton community that have a cause that I can get not only to Clorox, but to some others who have expressed the same thing.
Good. All right, thank you. And now what I would like to do, and this goes into our whole economic development, that's why I wanted to bring her on. We've got to begin to create an infrastructure that is palatable for businesses to want to come here, to do business, make money. And what we want to do is, we've had a big talk that I know everyone has heard about countywide trash pickup. And we want to begin to address that. We've created some questions that we want to get a poll and get feedback so that we can go back to the Board of Commissioners. So we've got one, the first question is up here, and we just want your opinion on some of these questions. We only have, I think it's 7 questions. So we're going to go through this and then we'll get this information. So if you all can click on it, and we can continue to move forward with this. All right. Why didn't? All right, so countywide, we're 83% yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
this is Valerie. I did vote, but I'm voting as a District 4 citizen, not as a Clayton County employee.
And so am I. So that's two of us. But yes, we all need to vote because even though we are elected officials or people that work in the county, we're still citizens. So we want to do that. But looking at this, do we believe in countywide trash pickup? This is where we have to go. In order for businesses to want to come here, we've got to show that we care about our county and we care about our citizens. We care about our citizens by trying to make sure their quality of life and their health and their safety is paramount to how we respond. So that's where we're going with this. This is something that is a topic where people have strong opinions. And in order to get through to the right to the right method of doing things, we've got to go back and do it. So can we put up poll 2, question 2, please? Is that the first? That's the first one. Because I'm on video. They can hear you. Okay, is the second question up? There we go. No. Okay. Okay. I'd like somebody to comment on somebody that put in billing. I'd like to hear your questions or your issues with the billing. What's your thought?
Freddie Edenfield here again. My concern about billing goes back to typical government services. How do we pay it? What's going to be the price? Will the price be competitive with what we can get in the private sector? And then I look at service. I'm retired military. I've seen government at all level, and I have, based on experience, I just have a concern when the government get involved in providing a service, a lackadaisical attitude can come with that providing of services.
Okay. And these are the kind of issues that we want to bring forth because we're not thinking of everything. Now, what about those that somebody comment on the provider or the services part of it?
Commissioner Davis, this
Yes,
is Judy
ma'am.
Taylor. Yeah. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning, Ms. Taylor.
Hello. I've commented before about this issue with the trash pickup because our neighborhood especially is concerned because we have at least 6 different companies coming into our neighborhood and the trucks are so loud. They're in bad shape. They make a lot of noise. They tear up the roads. They leave trash everywhere. And we have to have trash cans outside almost every day of the week because of having so many companies coming in here. So I think we need, if the county could take this over and provide a service, and we would know who we would need to contact if we have issues and everything else too. And maybe that would help us to have, a better service, I think, than what we're having now. And I think we can keep it competitive. I do believe there's got to be a way that we can do this. But right now, it's a nightmare. They come in here sometimes 5 and 5:30 in the morning, making a lot of noise. The trucks are really loud. It is really bad on our roads and on everybody else. So there's got to be something we can do to improve this service.
Right. And I'm making some notes on this. So if you all see my head down, I'm just writing. Now we have something with some others. What are some of the other issues you would think would come about with what concerns you most on this? I know we've got price as a concern. And I can tell you that that is one of the driving issues that we want to begin to look at. For those of us that do have trash pickup, we want to make sure that we're not trying to pay an astronomical amount or going up more. So with that, I want to put up the next question. Okay.
No, vice versa.
I'm sorry. So we're looking at pretty much about 90% of 90% of us have trash pickup that is coming to our home. Now, we know that the city of Jonesboro and some of the other municipalities, Riverdale, they have trash pickup services for their residents that is being paid for on the tax bill. So we do know that. So some of this is double dipping that we want to begin to look at. And we are in the process of talking to those cities and municipalities to find out who they're using, what are some of the issues, customer service and all of that, so that we can begin to make it one common exercise here. What about the next one? Next question. This is always a good question here. Now we know the word little is relative here.
Right. Very.
Okay. So we've got 43% maybes. Okay. Well, I'll be honest, that's a little bit different than what I thought. So that's why I asked these questions, because I want to know your thoughts. I actually thought we would have had more no's. So it's bringing some knowledge to me. So great, thank you all. Next question. I think we have two more. Now, there must be a lot of thinking going on here. Okay. All right. Does anybody want to comment on this, on their whole thought process here?
Yeah, this is Clayton Hardy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I come from the Metro New York area, and in our subdivision, the trash service, we used to pay it or negotiate it, for all the homeowners, and then we went to the township and negotiated a mechanism so that administratively we didn't have to all 80 homes have to individually pay for services. So we ended up having it, added to the property tax bill. Made it a lot easier for everyone, and also allowed consistency to make sure everyone had trash service. And then rather than getting a monthly bill like I did today, or quarterly, et cetera, it made it a lot easier just to bundle it with the county tax, road cleanup and everything else. You just had an extra line, on the county tax bill, and then you did it, once a quarter with your taxes, and over time you never even realized you were paying. It made it a lot easier, administratively from that perspective, and that's kind of why I just suggested adding it to the tax bill.
Now I see we have some that are opposed to that. Can somebody else speak on? I see we have other. If someone wants to voice their concerns or opinions about that, because this is going to be one of the major sticking points. Let's say if we were to bring it into the county. Anyone?
Yeah, this is Freddie Edenfield again. If we bring this into the county and it's county managed, you know, right now, if I don't like the service, I don't like the price of my current provider, I can go either negotiate with them or seek another provider. If the county does it, I'm kind of stuck with the service. If downstream, when you're no longer here, will someone use this as an ATM, as a way to add $1 here, $1 there for other projects and do it through trash pickup? And I could go on, but I'll give others far smarter than me a chance to speak.
Okay, well, that's a very good concern. Right now, what we're speaking about, one angle is to have different vendors that would be circumvented by the county. So we would have a list that you could choose from. So that's how we would do it. We want to keep the services top notch. And it comes down to who would manage that. Would that be a county managed service or would that be a privately managed service? We don't know. Once you begin county managed, how far do we go in? The further we go into being county managed, the longer it would take to implement it. It could take up to 2 to 4 years to implement it if the county were to go out and since buy their own trucks and have their own service department. So if we begin to use other vendors, we can begin to onboard it probably in as little as a year to 18 months. So we have to look at the timing of all of this. We have to look at the billing. We look at, the tax bill is a easy way to put the bill on, but what happens if somebody's, excuse me, escrow is pretty much maxed out and now we add a trash bill on it that takes their escrow account, increases their escrow. That means that their mortgage is going to go up. So we have to begin to look at that as well. We've got seniors on a fixed budget. How do we begin to look at that? So we want to begin to make sure from the homeowner's tax bill point of reference that our seniors and others are well protected within their financial fortitude. So we have that. From the vendor personally, we might say, okay, we're going to negotiate with a vendor. You choose the vendor of your choice. And then he's personally billing you. So that's another option. The water bill. If we were to add it on your water bill, that's a great thing because every home is going to have water. But what happens if someone doesn't pay the full portion of their water bill? Do we cut their water off or do we cut their trash off? What takes place? So there's a lot of questions that have to be answered in regard to this. So, that was one of the reasons I wanted to put these questions up because I need to get the mindset of you all and what you're thinking and what your concerns would be with this. Any comments?
Yeah, just one question. How does, I think you said Riverdale and the city of Jonesboro,
Yes.
are those city employees or are those contracted out?
Those are contracted out.
Okay, so in theory, it would be similar to what those townships have in some way, shape, or form, just expanding it countywide.
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right, next question. All right. Okay. Oh, we're still moving. Okay. All right. All right, that looks good there. Okay, as far as the recycling goes, and we've gotten a lot about that, that is a way of subdividing our trash and making sure that we are being, what's the term they use? Somebody help me here. As far as a good steward of the earth. And
Economically responsible.
there we go. Yes, so we want to make sure we're doing that with the recycle program. That's why I wanted to ask that question so that we can begin to understand, well, what's going on? What's taking place here? So these are great questions. I think that's the last one. Am I sure? Are we? Do we have anything else?
That was the last one, sir.
Great, great, great. So this is important to me. And I guess let me ask you all a question. Do you think a polling like this for certain issues is a good way of gaining knowledge of where we want to go with the county?
Yeah, definitely. I do it all the time at work.
Thank you.
Yes. Commissioner Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
Taylor again. One problem we have in a lot of the neighborhoods are older neighborhoods, and we don't have homeowners associations, and neighbors would not want to have a homeowners association. So we have quite a few people that do not take any type of trash collection. They just pile their trash in their cars and go to the local business or to the nearest apartments to dump their trash and everything else too. I would hope that if everyone is going to have this collection and they're having to pay for it, whatever way it is, that this would help that problem a little bit. But I also have a question about how would it be handled for apartments and commercial pickups and for commercial trash collections?
Well, your commercial, it's already mandated that they have to have a trash dumpster or trash pickup. So they have it, and apartments as well. So if you go to your apartments have dumpsters. And even though it's a problem, because the dumpsters are big enough, we just hit one company in Clayton County where we have mandated that they have trash pickup. I think it's 2 times or 3 times a week now. So we're moving forward with trying to really attack this trash issue, and we have to. And we're doing it from the apartments, we're doing it from the commercial, but now we have to begin to look at the residential as well. Because a lot of the commercials, why are the dumpsters overflowing? Because of what you just said. A lot of people are taking trash from their home, driving over to the nearest Publix or grocery store and dumping trash in it, going to an apartment complex, dumping trash in it. And granted, we're holding them accountable. Sometimes it's not fair to them. And folks don't know. A lot of folks are putting cameras out by those trash dumpsters, and they can prosecute folks for doing that. So, and I'm all for them prosecuting. We've got to keep this county clean. We've got to move it forward. We hired Erica Rocker Wills as our economic development director. This does make her job somewhat easier in going out, trying to recruit businesses for us. So this is what we got to begin to do. We've got to look at all of this from a holistic standpoint and what we're going to do. So,
Commissioner Davis,
yes.
this is Marvis Stewart. I'm a realtor and I live here in Clayton County. I think one of the things you may want to look at is the rental community, because you have a lot of investors out there who are renting their properties, but they're not providing any type of utility of anything for those renters. And so they're having to foot the bill for all the utilities, for the water, for the trash, for everything. And so you're probably having a problem with those types of residents who are taking the garbage to these dumpsters and stuff. So it may be something that you could look at with investors owning properties, that maybe they could come up with part of this trash issue to solve some of this trash issue.
And that was one of my major concerns, is we have a high rental community. Now, I'll be honest, I am not a fan of putting the collection on the tax bill for a resident that's their primary dwelling. But if it's an investment property, I believe we should put it on there to mandate that they do service trash pickup. Yes. We've got to look at it from that standpoint, and that's a very great comment. And that is one of my major concerns, and how do we do that? But in a sense, we've got to keep our private citizens and our investment community separate when it comes to residential. And also, let me ask this question too, and some of you all could tell me, who are you using as far as a good quality trash pickup service for those that are using them?
I think we're using GFL. It used to be Waste Industries for both recycle and for regular trash.
Okay.
And we're using CLM.
CLM. Right. Anyone else?
Our area is using TNR,
What area is that?
South Lake.
Great. Anyone else? Okay, well, great. That's good to know. That's good to know. I know we're getting down. We're 2 minutes past what I like to let you all go, but I want to, the last part of this, I want to open it up. Anybody have any concerns? What's going on? They have any questions for our code enforcement, any of our sector commanders, or myself?
Yeah, I have a general question. In terms of like, I guess road maintenance or road sweeping services, like how often does that get done or supposed to be done? Let's say, around the Lake Spivey Parkway area, just the general debris on the side of the roads. I've never seen any sweeping vehicles or trucks, doing general maintenance. So how often is that typically performed?
We do, if you're speaking of the street sweepers, we don't have any of the street sweeping equipment. What we do is when we do get calls about a massive trash issue, we will disperse somebody immediately to come take care of those great needs. What we've done is, because of COVID, our cleanup crews have been limited. We passed back in the beginning of the year where each district had its own cleanup crew. With COVID, we've combined them, and they're hitting each district once per week. So it's now on a rotating basis. But if you have something that is of great need, please call myself, and I'm going to give you my number since it's your phone anyway, that you let me use. That number is 670. It's 404 area code, and I'll type it in. 404-670-7281. And also Denise Harrod, and she handles a lot of this as well. And hers is 404-273-9777. So we'll put that up for everybody to have. I'm looking for, but did that pretty much answer your question though?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, it's just like, just like general, crumbling road debris, I mean, it just kind of makes it nice. But if you don't have the sweeping equipment, then that kind of explains why that, typically isn't done.
Correct. And I brought that up and began to discuss that. So hopefully in the future, we will obtain some of those type of equipments to begin to help, like I said, keep our community clean. That's the way we're going to move forward in a positive direction.
Commissioner Davis, this is Judy Taylor. Could I ask one more quick question?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have information yet as to who might be going into the warehouse development on Battle Creek Road, our big development behind Quick Trip? And the reason I'm concerned about it, because their sign out there says that, that they will divide and that they can park, they can have truck parking and they can divide it up and everything. I don't think that was the original intent. It's supposedly supposed to be a company, some kind, come in there and have a warehouse and their trucks go in and out, but it wouldn't be leased truck parking. Is there something?
Truck parking, that's not going to happen there. As far as subdividing, that goes to the internal part of the warehouse where the trucks will go in, and they might have several companies that are bringing and using it as a warehouse. So it's not just ran by one company. I've not spoken to them recently, so I don't know which tenants they have in there, but what I will do is check on that.
And Commissioner Davis, if I could add to that, I did speak with the broker who is managing that site, and it's possible that the site will be sold. And I'm working with a company I'm trying to land in Clayton, which will be a one-user tenant, excuse me, for the site. So this will be a great and formidable tenant who would be great to have in our county. So I just want to add that if meetings go well, we'll be meeting with them on Tuesday.
Okay, great. So just so we can give that information to others. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard somebody else speaking. Okay, and we went over our code enforcement and code enforcement's extended hours to make sure so folks know they are working on Saturdays. It's not Saturdays and Sundays, but just Saturdays, where they will be patrolling the area and looking for violations. We know we have what we call those weekend offenders, and we want to begin to go after those appropriately and make sure that we're cleaning up the county. Now, there is no, and Denise, correct me here if I say something wrong, they are not manning the phones for call-ins, though. Is that correct? Yes. So in a sense, they're out driving around looking for those violations, which for the most part, we've gotten calls over the last several months, so we know where they are, and we're patrolling those avenues quite diligently.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
this is Val. May I add to, just as a reminder to the citizens to share with their family and friends about the Click Clayton app if they do see something wrong, so that they can literally download that app on their phone and submit any issues or concerns, and even take a picture of what's happening in that area, whether it's trash, issue with the road, whatever it is, and it'll be directed to the appropriate department.
Great. Rodney Bryant, is there anything you want to add to this that we're speaking about with this issue? You're on mute. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Not at this time, but I also want to remind everybody I am the Sector 4 liaison, and we've been getting an influx of different citizens wanting to establish or even reestablish the neighborhood watches. And as what usually happens is, of course, we're doing it now because of the whole epidemic, that we're doing them virtually. And there's going to be 3 classes that will be done that you have to complete before you can be established. Also, you have to have a president, vice president, and a secretary to be established once you before you can start your neighborhood watch program. And you would just contact myself. My number is 678-898-7208 if you have any questions in reference to the neighborhood watch program. That's all I have.
Give that number one more time.
678-898-7208.
Great. Thank you. All right. Do we have any other issues or concerns folks want to bring up or talk about? None? Oh my.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Ms. White was bringing up the sinkhole issue over by O'Hara and Terra Lake and everything. I know during the last meeting you were looking into that and everything. Did you get anything on that, or do you need me to reach out to T&D?
We can reach back out to T&D.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Now, upcoming events, do we have a flyer or something of the upcoming events that we can post? So everybody can begin to see what is going on here. Yes, that's the one we're looking for. And scroll slow. This here is about our eviction moratorium and fair housing. That's a Zoom meeting. That link is a little small there, but if we want to begin to send that out, or if anybody contacts me, I will be sure that make sure that you get a copy of this one going forward for it. Are you going through them each by? Okay, let's scroll through those. and with this COVID season, as they're going through this, and you all can take a look at it, we want to make sure that everyone also understands that we do have free testing centers available to you for COVID testing. One of them is the Riverdale Town Center, and the other is the Health Department, 1117 Battle Creek. And that is from Monday to Friday, 8 to 4. So you can go get a free COVID test if you're feeling down or you're in concern or need of it. But let's also remember, we're during these holiday seasons, we're going to have a lot of folks in need. So let's look out for our neighbors. Let's look out for our families, because we want everybody to have a happy and a safe holiday season. This is going to be a holiday season like none other. And we want to make sure that we're taking care of the folks here in Clayton County and those in our community. Now, these will be posted on our site. Amaris, do you want to tell us where they'll be posted and when they'll be posted?
If you want to have access to this information, please go to Commissioner DeMont Davis' Facebook page by his name, Commissioner DeMont Davis, and you can find all of these flyers attached to the site, and they will be uploaded today.
Great, thank you.
Very shortly.
Now, let's also remember that DA Mosley's turkey drive is starting probably, 10 minutes ago. So it goes from 10, or I'm sorry, 12 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
You will register. Where does it say?
Mm-hmm.
You're entering. Oh, and that's at the Jusky, the bank. What is it? Harold Bank Justice Center, 9151 Terra Boulevard. But you will enter on the Pauston Road off of Terra, and that's where they'll be conducting it. So there's a registration. They'll probably register you down there on the site as well. But for those that are in need, let's go out and begin to handle our food issues for our needy citizens. Anyone else? Do we have any announcements? None? Wow. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining in on this call. We did go, 13 minutes over. We're going to try to respect your time and try to keep it to an hour, but we really did want to discuss the whole countywide trash pickup and begin to get your thoughts on that. So any questions you have before or after the meetings, please email us district4@claytoncountyga.gov. That's district4@claytoncountyga.gov. Any questions you have, any concerns, please drop us a line so that we know what's going on, what you're thinking, what's on your mind. We want to make this county better, and the only way we do is to get everybody involved. We've got to get everybody involved from every corner of District 4, from Riverdale down to Lovejoy, Morrow, Jonesboro. We want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard, and we've got to move it forward. So I just want to thank everybody for joining in and taking time out of their Saturday mornings to come in to listen, to find out what's going on, but also to tell us what's going on as well. So thank you all and have a great weekend.